There was a night, so silent that even the stars seemed to be listening. Beneath the Bodhi tree sat a man, not praying, not striving, not dreaming. He was simply there, breathing like a mountain. He was no longer Prince Siddhartha, no longer a father, a seeker, or a son. He was just presence. And in that stillness, Mara appeared, not from outside, but from the innermost depths. A whisper said, "You are about to attain what no man has attained. You are the greatest." Another voice murmured, "You are deceiving yourself. You are just escaping the world." Both were Mara, because both were speaking about you. The five aggregates, Panchaskandha, are five misted mirrors we call I: form, feeling, perception, volition, consciousness. They are not evil, they only obscure. Like layers of fog around a jewel, you polish the first layer and think you have found the light, but it is only the reflection of delusion itself. The Buddha did not conquer Mara with a sword. He simply looked. And when you look without reaction, Mara disappears. That is how Mara lives, by your resistance. Mara is the energy of an unawakened mind. No one can kill Mara, for Mara is you when you forget who you are. Once, a disciple asked, "Master, how can I defeat the ego?" I laughed. I said, "You cannot defeat what does not exist. If you fight your own shadow, you only grow tired. Ego is the shadow of unawareness. Open your eyes in the dark and the shadow vanishes." These five aggregates, form, feeling, perception, volition, consciousness, are like the five fingers of a single hand. Separately, they are harmless. Together they clench and the fist is born. We call that fist myself. The Buddha saw this. He unclenched the hand and light flowed through the fingers. Look deeply into each aggregate. Formpa, this body, the first shell. We call it me, yet it never obeys. It was born without asking and will die without consent. If the body were me, we could command it not to age, but we cannot. So who is the body? Feeling, Vedana, pleasure, pain, delight, sorrow. They come like wind and go like clouds. If feeling were me, why does me change every hour? Perception, memory, imagination, image. You think memory is truth? No. Memory is a painter. It redraws reality in the colors of desire. Volition, Kara, impulses, habits, reactions. You say, "I choose." But it is habit that chooses through you. You only sign the contract written by the unconscious. Consciousness, Vijnana, seems to be the core, yet it is only a mirror. It has no light of its own. Without an object it cannot reflect, without stillness it cannot shine. Can you see? They are five shadows, and when they gather, we call them I. But what is this I? Just the echo of a combination, no master inside. Like music rising when five strings vibrate together, no singer, only sound. The Sanyukta Agama says, form is not self, feeling is not self, perception is not self, volition is not self, consciousness is not self. If form were self, it would not decay. But because form is not self, it decays. The Buddha did not speak in philosophy, he spoke from silence. You need not believe, only look. The body changes, feelings shift, thoughts appear and fade, awareness dims in sleep. Which of these is truly you? The answer is not found in logic, but in still seeing. Mara of the five aggregates is not a demon with a trident. It is clinging, the mistaken identity with each aggregate. When you identify with form, form becomes Mara. When you cling to sensation, feeling becomes Mara. When you believe imagination, perception becomes Mara. When you are trapped in reaction, volition becomes Mara. When you are caught in perception, consciousness becomes Mara. Then you live as a being ruled by five inner ghosts. If you wish to see demons, don't look at cemeteries, look within your thoughts. Inside you walk many shadows. I am good, I am bad, I am spiritual, I am awakened. Each is Mara, because all begin with I. The true being never says I, it simply is. Like the wind, it does not say I blow. Like the flower, it does not say I bloom. It is. That is the true mind, the Buddha nature, pure, nameless awareness. The five aggregates of Mara are what happens when you lose that isness and begin to live as a label, a role, a seeker chasing himself. The more you search, the farther you go, because the seeker is the distance. When the Buddha saw this, he smiled. Not because he conquered Mara, but because he saw there was nothing to conquer. The enemy was only the shadow of light itself. When the lamp is lit, the shadow dissolves. Liberation is not gaining anything, but seeing that nothing was ever missing. The Mara of the five aggregates lives only in striving. When you stop becoming, you return to being. There is a Mara subtler than lust or anger. the Mara of the spiritual self. Mara has 1,000 forms, but the most dangerous one wears the robe of holiness. After the Buddha awakened, Mara came again. No weapon this time, only disciples. They knelt and cried, "Blessed One, you have defeated Mara." The Buddha smiled, "If I believe you, Mara wins again." Ego never dies, it changes costumes. When defeated in the marketplace, it takes refuge in the monastery. It whispers, "I no longer seek wealth or fame, I only seek enlightenment." And it survives, only now, it knows how to sit cross-legged. Many enter meditation, but only change the kind of desire. Yesterday they longed for success, today they long for silence. Yesterday they chased power, today they chase spiritual attainment. That is Mara hiding inside perception. When recognition becomes self-narration, I am special. The Mara of the mind loves that story. I have seen meditators sitting for years, eyes closed, yet the ego wide awake within, asking, "When will I awaken?" As long as the questioner remains, no awakening can be. The ego is the cleverest beggar in the cosmos. It even begs for the divine. It says, "Grant me liberation." But in that very prayer, it is reborn again. Freedom cannot be granted. It appears only when there is no one left to ask. The Sanyukta Agama says, "Contemplate the body, not as self, feelings, not as self, mind, not as self, phenomena, not as self." These are the 4 foundations of mindfulness, 4 swords cutting Mara's cords. Understand this well. No one forbids you to have a body, feelings, or thoughts. The problem is not the aggregates. The problem is identification. You need not destroy the body, just know it is not you. You need not suppress emotion, just see it arises and passes. When seeing is without grasping, the aggregates remain, but Mara is gone. Someone once said, "Master, my thoughts will not stop. How do I make them cease?" I replied, "If you try to stop them, you add one more thought, the thought of stopping. The last thought to go is, I must be thought-free." When no one tries, only seeing remains, and thought falls like a wave meeting shore. Then awareness, prajna chit, begins to shine. It alone does not belong to the aggregates. It is not consciousness, for it discriminates nothing, not perception, for it creates no image, not volition, for it has no intent, not feeling, for it tastes no pleasure or pain, not form, for it has no shape. Awareness does not belong to you, you belong to awareness. Modern psychology calls it meta-awareness, the knowing that knows itself. When the mind beholds the mind, the observer and the observed dissolve. It is the state without a subject. No I know, only knowing. Neuroscientists have traced it to a region called precuneus, active in deep meditation when the sense of self disappears. The brain functions, but no one is inside. The spiritual ego does not die easily. It knows how to speak softly, how to wear white robes. It bows to statues while whispering within, "I am purer than the others, closer to truth." The moment you say, "I am humble," humility is lost. Mara smiles again. They come to me, speaking of masters, enlightened beings, true disciples. I smile. They are dreaming a holy dream. You do not need enlightenment. You only need to wake up. Enlightenment is not a goal. It is the byproduct of no longer sleeping. When the mind sleeps, the aggregates act as masters. When awareness awakes, they remain, but as guests. You eat, work, love, laugh, and in the depth of it all, know that no one is doing anything. Life flows by itself. Be careful. Psychology can help you understand, but only meditation can make you disappear. Freud showed that we are driven by the unconscious. Jung said we wear the persona, the social mask. Sartre spoke of bad faith, the self deceiving itself to avoid freedom. They were right, but they stopped at the threshold. They described the illusion, but not the empty space behind the door. The Buddha stepped through and found no one home. Each of them, in their language, described the 5 maras within. Freud's id, ego, superego, form, volition, and consciousness. Jung's persona, perception. Sartre's bad faith, volition deceived. All were pointing to the same truth. Man lives as an imposter of himself. If you dare to look honestly, you'll see every justification, every because I is another mask of Mara. Mara need not be ugly. He can be kind, reasonable, even compassionate. That is why he is dangerous. He lets you believe you are progressing while you are merely circling your own reflection. When asked, "Master, how do I know I am trapped in illusion?" I answer, when you still feel special, you are. The awakened one is not special. He is empty, like a bamboo flute whose hollowness makes music. If someone were inside, the song would die. The religious ego often says, I love everyone. But that is not love. It is ego seeking confirmation through love. You love to feel noble. You help to be thanked. You bow to feel humble. True love has no lover. Only love remains, falling like rain on both flowers and weeds. Remember, the Mara of the aggregates is not a doctrine. It is daily life. It is when you look in the mirror and think you are the image, when you cry and believe the tears are your soul, when you speak of the path and forget that silence itself is the path. Nagarjuna wrote in the Mulamajjhima Karika, if the aggregates were the self would be impermanent. If the self were other than the aggregates, it could not share their qualities. A perfect paradox. You cannot separate the self from the aggregates, yet you cannot find it within them. Like the moon reflected in water, not in the water, yet not apart from it. You cannot see truth because you are still there to see. When the seer dissolves, truth stands naked. No subject, no object, only light between two nothings. Then the aggregates no longer bind. They become 5 friends, 5 doors of understanding. Form shows impermanence. Feeling teaches non-attachment. Perception reveals the mirror nature of mind. Volition unveils the flow beyond control. Consciousness opens the gate to pure awareness. When the 5 doors open, no one walks out, the sky within appears. No enlightened one, no unenlightened, only awareness smiling. Silence is the final gate, not the silence of the lips, but the silence of the one who speaks inside your head. In that silence, every question dissolves. No more who am I, no more how can I awaken, only pure presence remains. When we stop deeply enough, something miraculous happens. We see that what we call I is only a ripple rising and fading on the surface of awareness. There is no need to strive, no need to change, no need to become. Just be here. That is enough. We spend our whole lives running toward success, away from loneliness, toward God. But every race has one thing in common. The runner is still there. Once I asked a meditator, "What are you looking for in meditation?" He said, "I seek peace." I told him, as long as there is a seeker, peace will always remain ahead of you. For the seeker is the restlessness. The ego that seeks peace is already the disturbance itself. When the seeker disappears, peace does not arrive, because it was never gone. Sit quietly, expect nothing. A sound arises, listen, a thought drifts by, see it, a feeling comes, welcome it, and when all pass, let them go. You don't have to calm the waves. Just remember you are the water. May rise, but the essence does not move. In the Mahaparinirvana Sutra, the Buddha said, all beings possess Buddha nature. Every being, even the most lost, already carries the seed of awakening. Buddha nature does not need to be created. It only needs to be uncovered. Like the sun behind clouds, its light has never vanished. We simply mistook the shadow for truth. The Mara of the 5 aggregates is that cloud. Do not chase it. Do not hate it. Just stand still and watch. Clouds fade on their own. I know this sounds simple, and precisely because it is simple, people find it hard to believe. The mind loves complexity, techniques, effort. It says there must be something to do. Meditation must have a method. But I say, the more methods you have, the farther you are from truth, because the doer himself is the obstacle. Meditation is not an action, it is the absence of the actor. Remember, no one ever achieves meditation. Meditation happens when there is no one left to achieve it. Just like sleep, you cannot force it. You can only relax enough for it to arrive. Awakening is the same. It cannot be achieved, it can only be lost with the disappearance of the one who seeks. In that instant, all phenomena return to their natural order. The body still breathes, the mind still moves, thoughts still arise, but no one is inside. That is the wonder of non-self, anatta. Non-self does not mean non-existence. It means existence without a center. No I as the axis, only life expressing itself. Look deeply, everything functions without a controller. The heart beats, the lungs breathe, thoughts come and go. Only when you intervene and say, "This is mine," does suffering begin. You do not need to destroy the aggregates. Let them live, but do not live within them. You are the space in which the 5 aggregates operate. You are not the aggregates, you are the awareness embracing them all. This awareness is not ordinary consciousness. Consciousness needs an object, awareness does not. It does not look at anything, for it is the very light of seeing. Someone once asked me, "Master, then whose awareness is this?" I answered, "It belongs to no one and to everyone." Awareness does not belong to you. You belong to it. Just as a wave cannot own the ocean merely wears the form of a wave, then sheds it again. When this is understood, all seeking crumbles like sand slipping through your fingers. There is no longer a path to walk, for you are already at the destination. No longer an enlightened person, for that person never truly existed. What remains is only silence. This silence cannot be described, but it can be recognized right now. No belief is needed, no waiting required. Just listen to the birds, feel the breath, and see that everything is unfolding within a clear, unmoving background. That is awareness. It has never been born and will never die. You cannot grasp it, for the very hand that tries to grasp exists within it. You cannot think about it, for the very thought that thinks is illuminated by it. Everything you think is you is held by this awareness and dissolves like smoke into the sky. I recall Nagarjuna's words in the Mula Madhyamaka Karika, self and non-self are both unreal. When attachment ceases, birth and death cease. When nothing is clung to, the true mind appears. When no one remains to seek, the seeker himself is what was sought. This is the final paradox. You travel a long circle only to return to where you began, but everything has changed because you are no longer there. The world remains the same, but the one who sees has vanished. And in that vanishing, everything shines. You may call it Buddha nature, or God, or call it nothing at all. The name does not matter. What matters is the nameless clarity. When this is seen, the Mara of the five aggregates has no refuge left. For Mara needs a person to frighten. When the person is gone, Mara is only light playing hide and seek with itself. I do not say, go seek enlightenment. I only invite you to wake up. Wake up from the story of me. Wake up from past and future. Wake up in this very moment where there is no before or after. You may sit quietly, close your eyes, and feel this very sound fading into silence. No conclusion, no message, only what is. And if in this moment you sense a little stillness, a depth of space, know that it is nothing new. It is only you, the real you, before any I appeared. When the aggregates fall silent, when the shadows fade, you do not become a Buddha. You simply stop forgetting that you already are. Epilogue. Nowhere to go, for the path lies beneath your feet. Nothing to attain, for the destination never left. Stay here, in silence, and know you have arrived. In the end, after traveling the long circle of knowing, seeking, and striving, we come upon the simplest truth, one that feels almost impossible to believe. There has never been a self that needed saving, nor a Mara that needed to be fought. The five aggregates, form, feeling, perception, volition, and consciousness, are but waves upon the surface of awareness. When we mistake them for ourselves, they become the five Maras, the imposters that wear our faces and speak in our voices. But when we simply observe, without clinging, without resisting, without judging, they return to their natural state, pure movements of life, neither good nor evil, neither Mara nor Buddha. What the Buddha realized beneath the Bodhi tree was not a doctrine, it was the dissolution of the one who seeks. In that moment, only pure awareness remained, formless, silent, unnameable. Every question, who am I? How do I awaken? Vanished like mist in the morning sun. And within that silence, the only answer that existed was not in words, but in the radiance of being itself. When there is no one left to see, seeing becomes the whole. When there is no one to awaken, all things shine. The five Maras were never slain, they simply ceased to be fed by identification. When identification stops, the shadows lose their ground, and the light, which was always there, reveals itself. There is no need to go anywhere, no need to wait for another life. Here, in this very breath, if we pause, if we see, the Bodhi tree is already here. You do not become a Buddha, you simply stop forgetting that you already are. Liberation is not born from destruction, but from clarity. When the aggregates grow still, you return to what has never departed, the true mind, awareness, boundless freedom.